So that's having repercussions across the country. Talking about Supreme Court, there's another order which has become quite significant. The auto industry has been pushed into a corner and could look at all legal options available to it, says M&M's Pawan Goenka as he speaks for the first time since the Supreme Court's order banning sale of Bharat Stage 3 vehicles from the 1st of April. Here are the key takeaways from that big CNBC TV 18 exclusive interview.
This is a rather difficult interview for me to do because it's a very emotive subject. Because the highest court, the Supreme Court, has given a verdict, and that obviously is supreme and something that industry will abide by and has to abide by. Because the media, as well as the general public, to some extent holds auto industry guilty.
And on that somber note, Pawan Goenka sat down to give his side of the story. It's been less than a week since the Supreme Court came down heavily on the auto industry, and Pawan Goenka said the Supreme Court's order has called into question the sanctity of government notifications and thrown industry plans off track. He also hit out at suggestions and insinuations that the industry ramped up BS-3 production to sidestep regulations.
Concern raised, or perhaps even allegation made, that the industry had stocked up on BS-3 in preparation for the switchover and will then dump BS-3 vehicles in the market post 1st of April. But the data doesn't indicate that, and data is very, very clear, submitted by the industry. In fact, on 28th February 2017, the stock of BS-3 vehicles was lower than what it was in December 15, and therefore there is no case to be made that industry had piled up on the BS-3 stock.
Now, two-wheeler manufacturers did manage to offload a large chunk of their BS-3 inventory, but this came at a high cost. Commercial vehicle manufacturers, however, have taken it on the chin, and M&M itself has been left sitting on unsold inventory to the tune of 1,500 crore rupees.
There are two parts to the story. The one part is what we had to do on 30th and 31st of March, where we had to almost do a fire sale and sell as many BS-3 vehicles as we could at a very, very high discount. Not just Mahindra, but the whole industry has done that. And by doing so, we have perhaps removed half the BS-3 inventory that we had as on 29th of March. And we have the remaining half still there, and we are still sort of in a fix as to what to do with this remaining half. And this remaining half can either get converted to BS-4, which will be at a fairly significant cost, or can be exported, or can be basically made into scrap. If we look at the total inventory that Mahindra had, it was of the order of 3,000 crores, I think, before the court order came. We have been able to remove about half the inventory at approximately, I would say, 15% or so of discount from normal selling price. And the remaining half that we still have, we don't know yet as to what all we will have to do. What we can export obviously will not have much of a cost. What we have to convert to BS-4 will have cost as much as little as 3,000-4,000 rupees for three-wheeler, some three-wheelers, to as much as maybe 2 lakh rupees for four-wheelers.
Goenka said Supreme Court orders are sacrosanct and cannot be ignored, but added that the industry may look at a legal recourse in the coming days once the final court order becomes public.
Legal route can only be, I think, what is called a review petition or a curative petition that we can file. And our lawyers, once the final order comes in, will decide whether there is a case for filing that.
While the seeking of some leniency from the court is still up in the air, the Indian auto industry has written to Prime Minister Narendra Modi asking him and his team to intervene in the BS-4 matter. If this help does not come through, industry fears that companies will have some big write-offs to contend with, and that does not well for profitability in a sector that has already been struggling for traction. In New Delhi, Ranujay Banerjee.